Hi, I'm Tamiko Richardson for The Sports Life, and today I'm joined by legendary Roy Hilton, formerly of the Baltimore Colts, and his grandson, the Tennessee Titans linebacker, Brandon Copeland. Welcome, gentlemen.
Hi.
Hello.
You are formerly Baltimore Colts' like one of the best defensive ends that they've seen.
I was fortunate enough to be around a few outstanding ball players and athletes and other people altogether.
Well, that's very humble of you, but you are definitely one of the ones that was in Super Bowl III as well as Super Bowl V.
Yes, again, it comes from surrounding myself with a lot of somewhat talented people.
Who were your friends or who were the teammates that you had that stand out when you were in Super Bowl III and Super Bowl V?
Well, some of my teammates were Johnny Unitas was the quarterback. Lenny Moore was a running back with us. Ted Hendricks was. These people are basically at the Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. Ted Hendricks, Johnny Unitas, Gino Marchetti,
okay,
who was all defensive ends looked up to Gino Marchetti as to be the replacement for Gino Marchetti. Jim Parker was a legendary offensive lineman from Ohio State, and just fortunate enough to be. You had nothing to do when you come along, but it was fortunate enough to be there. I was.
Now you entered the same draft as Joe Namath?
65. Some of the characters that came in the league with me was Joe Namath.
Some of the characters.
Yeah.
Yes.
Joe Namath was a rookie with me. Dick Butkus was a rookie with me. Gail Sayles was a rookie with me. Ken Willett was a rookie with me. This was a pretty outstanding rookie group.
But you're not a character. You seem very humble.
I've been fortunate enough to be in the right place at the right time. I used to think that anyway. That's not exactly true, but I was fortunate enough to come along when I did. You see, the time to be an athlete is today.
Today?
Today.
And why is that?
The price is right.
The price is right. So they get all the endorsements, they get a lot of things that they didn't have back in the days.
Right, but time changed. You have nothing to do when you come along. Just make the most of the situation, and I'm still around.
So what was the most favorite thing that happened to you when you were in the league?
To be a participant in Super Bowl III and V, and also to play with some of the legendary players that I was telling you about, that I mentioned earlier. Mm-hmm. And the most important thing about the league to me was after I left the league, to be like my grandson, to be here to see him perform and to have him, when he went to high school even, to have him in his high school Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. And he went to a legendary high school, Gilman, which is of course here in Baltimore, and Gilman was named for Daniel Cott Gilman, who happened to be the first president of Johns Hopkins University. And it's, like I said, I was fortunate enough to be at the right place at the right time in some instances.
Now, do you believe that being the game has changed, that it has kind of watered down the whole entertainment of football? It's
as if we played with a different football, played with a different brand of football. The game is not the same, and the players are not the same because the rules have changed to the game. Mm-hmm. For instance, one of my favorite weapons to get me by an offensive tackle was a head slap, which I picked up from the legendary Deacon Jones.
Right.
And today the head slap is illegal.
Right.
You know, cross body block, they're
right.
illegal. So the game has changed, but it had its great points as well as some of the not so great points. I think the guys are tough now, and we were tough then, but I mean, a lot of things have changed. For instance, now you like I say, you head slap a guy and they're ready to throw you out the game. You can't tackle a guy with a head on is usually just a penalty. So the game has changed tremendously. It's not the same game, but it's
Well, because
quite
you guys
entertaining.
go after Joe Namath, but if somebody touches Tom Brady, like that's a problem now.
Oh yeah. If you breathe on Tom Brady.
Do you even watch football still?
Oh yeah.
Yes?
Yes, very much. I'm entertained by the game today. It's just that lots of things that go on I don't recognize as it's the same game of football that we play, but it's the greatest entertainment on earth.
You were with the Baltimore Colts for
9 years.
9 years.
9 years.
And then you also joined the Giants.
Well, yeah, I was traded to the Giants in my 10th season.
How'd you feel about that?
I felt great and blessed because the first football game I saw, even televised, was the '58 championship game between the Baltimore Colts and the New York Giants. And to have the pleasure of playing with both clubs was really, I thought, just beyond belief. And of course, I got 11 seasons in. My 11th season, I played in Atlanta with the Atlanta Falcons.
You enjoyed your time with which team the most?
Well, the greatest place to be a part of an NFL team or NBA team or whatever, is the Apple.
Right.
New York.
Of course.
Yeah.
So now you see your grandson in the league now. So how does that work? When you found out that he got the call from the Ravens, where were you?
The draft choice, I was in Philadelphia when they had the draft, and he was. I went up to see him every week. You know, every home, I saw all his home games. I was there, and it was unbelievable because to see him perform, and I thought he was doing a tremendous job. But to top that off, the coaches thought he was doing a tremendous job, and the scouts and things. I talked with him about a few things like just playing the game the way it was, and I told him he would be an outstanding ball player, and he did if he reacted, did some of the things that I said, not everything. Some things he did a lot better than I did.
Your grandfather is legendary with the Baltimore Colts, and you walk into M&T Stadium. How does that feel?
It's pretty amazing. Obviously, he didn't play at M&T. You know, just to walk into the facilities that first summer, or last summer, I guess, and just be able to give my granddad a hug on the way out to practice was pretty special. You know, he would come up to a couple of the practices because some of the former Colts are allowed to come up to the facilities and check him out. But you know, not too many people get to give a hug to someone who's helped them actually get to where they are today before going out and fighting for a job. So you know, I feel pretty blessed, and you know, I can't complain.
So what was the number one advice you gave to him?
I think the most important thing I told him was when he's on the field to keep his feet moving, because lots of people get hurt. In particular, the big thing when I was playing ball was the knee injury, the knee injury and things like that. And I learned that at an early age, if you weren't making the tackle, keep your feet in motion. Don't be standing around inspecting the pile. If you do that, somebody turn the lights out on you.
You were cutting up paper and stuff and throwing it in the trash can, and you said the way you play football is, you know, we put two people in the trash can. You know, you put me and one other person in the trash can and say only one of you can come out. And he looked at me with a dead face. Best believe I'm coming out of the trash can. And you know, ever since then, that's just kind of been how I relate football to that trash can metaphor, in terms of, you know, it doesn't really matter. You know, at the end of the day, football is such a violent sport and such a physical sport that also is controlled violence and athleticism, that at the end of the day, you know, no matter, people have always said, you know, you're either too big, too slow, too whatever. At the end of the day, I think of the trash can as you have a task to do, get the job done. And that's always just made it simpler for me. You know, the people, I line up across from people in college and they'd be like, oh, he's 330 pounds and I'm 250 playing defensive linemen, you know, it doesn't matter to me. You know, I don't care how big you are or what your, you know, like you say, your credentials are. You know, we're both in the trash can. Only one of us can come out. I'm coming out of the trash cans.